We have Paul Sperry on with us now. Hello, Paul. How are you?
Hey, how are you? Good.
Good. Paul is a senior staff writer at RealClearInvestigations.com, columnist also at the New York Post, and he is also a Hoover Institution Media Fellow. We have him on because tomorrow night's special, Wednesday night special, is a weaponized government, how the Mar-a-Lago raid is an attack on all of us. So, Paul, what was it that Twitter found so offensive about your reporting?
Well, that's still a mystery. They kicked me off the day after Trump's home was raided, and I was in the middle of tweeting more about the raid, and suddenly I got a message that popped up, said, "You have been permanently suspended."
You're permanently?
Yeah.
Wow.
No reasons given. Didn't say what rules or policies I allegedly had violated to prompt that. Yeah, so they canceled my account without any explanation, which is, by the way, a violation of their own rules. Because if you look them up, they're supposed to, quote, explain which policy you may have violated, which content was in violation, and they did not do that in my case because they know I didn't break any rules.
So isn't one of the guys at Twitter, isn't he a former FBI high-ranking guy?
Yeah, the deputy general counsel is the Comey's Jim Comey's general counsel, former general counsel at the FBI headquarters. His name's James Baker. So he was disgraced after the FISA warrant abuse scandal. He left. And then Twitter picked him up, and now he is. I'm sure screening any matters, content-based matters that may have a legal issue, something like that, would be a run up to him, and so he has a lot of influence at Twitter.
Do you have any idea if he's the one who banned you?
No idea.
Okay, yeah, they're kind of a black hole of information, isn't it? So. Talk to me a little bit about, because I'm really concerned about the FBI and the whole government. Right now, government agents have a bigger, I don't even know what you would call it, police force than we have Marines. That's a little staggering.
Yeah, it's getting crazy out there. This has also gotten very personal between the former president and the FBI. And, this is like a full-blown war between the ex-president of the United States and the federal police. When does that ever happen?
Never that I know of. So how concerned are you? I mean, are you hearing from good FBI agents and enough of them to give you confidence that at least the average rank and file is not involved in this and won't put up with it? Or what is your feeling?
Well, a lot of them aren't putting up with it. There's been a number of whistleblowers that have come out to Senator Grassley recently, so they're getting fed up with the politicization of the Bureau. And unfortunately, the same FBI division that ran the corrupt Russiagate operation and, by the way, coddled Hillary and Hunter in those investigations, they ran the questionable Trump raid, and they're now running what appears to be Russiagate 2.0.
Jeez.
And it's the counterintelligence division in Washington, even though it's the focus of Special Counsel Durham's investigation of that prior corruption.
I talked to John Solomon yesterday, and he said that he was fairly confident that these documents still exist. He's trying to get them from the National Archives, copies of them, but he wasn't quite sure what documents they were really looking for. Do you have any idea on that?
Well, some former FBI and DOJ officials told me they suspect the FBI may have used the raid to cover their tracks in this Russiagate scandal. They may be trying to deep six any evidence that Trump might have kept on them. In other words, Trump may have had proof of their crimes, and they had to make sure that proof That proof never saw the light of day. It's a fairly reasonable assumption that they're sifting through those boxes to look for that information that would have a vested interest, especially if they're under investigation criminally by Durham right now, to make sure that those documents, if Trump had them, do not become public.
And is it true that Biden signed an order saying we're not going to release these things, and his order to release and to make them public is rescinded, which it's my understanding that's never happened before.
Yeah. When A.G. Garland came in, the Justice Department put the kibosh in that declassification order.
And it was literally the last hour of his presidency, wasn't it? That they pulled them. Right.
And so they have their own roadmap. They know what was in that binder, and they want to make sure that there's not some copies in the 7 boxes that they pulled out of Mar-a-Lago. And by the way, a careful reading of that warrant shows that the warrant basically allowed the agents to take anything they wanted from Trump's home. So no telling what they got and what they're going to do with it, how they're going to use it against Trump. It looks like it was a complete fishing expedition. And by the way, that belies assurances that we got in that press conference from the Attorney General. He said that he told everybody, that the investigation was narrowly focused and the search warrant was narrowly scoped.
Not even. It was a general warrant.
Yeah, the release of that warrant shows that he misled the public and acted in bad faith. So that already gives anybody, including most of all Trump, pause, skepticism to believe that their current assurances that the affidavit, which is the document that supports or allegedly would support probable cause of a crime being committed to warrant such a raid and a search, was properly supported. And you've got the whole track record of the FBI just completely acting dishonestly and unethically in swearing out warrants for FISA court surveillance on one of Trump's advisors.
So, yeah, Trump is not a dumb, stupid man. He is not. He plays three-dimensional chess at times. He might appear to be flying by the seat of his pants, and I think sometimes he is. But he's smart enough to, if he has those documents, not just leave them in a box. He would have copied them or given a copy to his attorneys or someplace for safekeeping. Would that be illegal?
No, and he had skiffs set up for him in Bedminster, his place in Bedminster, and also Mar-a-Lago. People don't report this, but he was very careful whenever he would go to these homes, second White House homes, like every president. The Secret Service built under the direct intelligence community sensitive compartmented information facilities within his residences. And that's where he would receive his presidential daily briefings. He would store classified documents in there. So this whole notion that he's this reckless guy who's strewing around, top secret national secrets, nuclear secrets everywhere, that's BS, because he had skiffs set up. This was all done just like every other president has had done in their secondary homes.
How concerned are you, or when does this end? What will it take for this to end? The collusion between the government and, for instance, Twitter or others, where the government, we now know, has told people clearly at Twitter, you really need to do something about this person. What is it going to take? This is such an end run against our Constitution, these public-private partnerships with these media companies and with social media. Do you see a way to stop that?
Well, you're right. These gatekeepers in big tech have so much power over our free speech these days, and you would have to have somebody like Elon Musk, a very deep-pocketed billionaire, to come in and take over, which doesn't look good now, especially with this latest cybersecurity whistleblower coming out and saying that there was a lot of more fake accounts than they let on. So that kind of strengthens Musk's case to back out of the deal. It's not very hopeful for guys like me or political prisoners locked in jail. But he someone like that would have to get in there and get rid of this Twitter's new CEO. This guy. He wants to focus. He actually was caught saying that he wants to focus less on free speech and more on, quote, choosing who can be heard, especially in election years, apparently.
Good God.
So, yeah, that's the guy who's running this thing. He's this Indian fella. I forget his, I think it's Pagrom or something like that. It starts from the top, and guys like that, they're mostly very liberal Democrats who are running Twitter, including their board. And so that's what it would take. Put some fair-minded people in there who, respect and love free speech. And, not one way, not conservative. I'm not saying a conservative way or the other. And I think that Elon Musk would be someone like that because he really does want a free-for-all on a social media platform. He doesn't want, to skew things
one way or the other.
Right. And that's how it should be.
Yes.
Or inciting violence. You put it out there, and it's up to the people to decide what they want to believe or how, and leave it up to the debate. And eventually, the truth will percolate up through free debate. And that's not what the current Twitter powers that be want. They want, like this guy said, we want to choose who can be heard. And who can shape our political narrative the best. And people who are running fact-based content like me and fact-driven content that is inconvenient to that narrative, they don't want on their platform.
Well, for now, you can find Paul Sperry at realclearinvestigations.com. That's realclearinvestigations.com. Paul, thank you so much. God bless. Keep us up to date, will you?
Thanks, Glenn.
You bet. Bye-bye.